Hello everyone and welcome to Comic Chic. Today I'm here to talk about one of my favorite DC characters and perhaps one of the more underrated ones, Mr. Terrific. Now you might have heard about Mr. Terrific because he's going to appear in the upcoming Superman movie by James Gunn. But here we're going to talk about his origin, his basics, and more. So join me while we talk about one of my favorite DC characters. So Mr. Terrific, aka Michael Holt, is a superhero who appears throughout the DC comics. He is known for his remarkable intelligence, including being an inventor, a scientist, and just all-around brilliant at many things. He first appeared in Spectre number 54 and was created by James Ostrander and Tom Mandrake. His origin in Spectre 54 revolves around having an argument with his wife about religion. He is seen standing on a bridge, looking at a picture of his wife, reminiscing about the good old days. He's ready to end his own life by jumping on the bridge, but he then notices that the Spectre has been drawn to him because of his intense emotions and thoughts. The Spectre gives him a story about his former JSA partner, Terry Sloan, aka the first Mr. Terrific, which inspires Michael Holt to take on the moniker himself and play by the fair play rules. Michael Holt then becomes the new Mr. Terrific, carrying on Terry's legacy, and he also eventually joins the Justice Society of America, following his footsteps. In terms of his first cover appearance, it's actually contested because while it's not a proper cover appearance, he does make a minor cover appearance on the Sins of Youth Star Woman issue as a baby. And if you know about the Sins of Youth storyline, then you know why he's a baby on that cover. But his first proper appearance as an adult is in the JSA number 14 cover. So it took a while for him to make a cover appearance. In terms of his associations throughout the DC universe, Mr. Terrific has been part of plenty teams because he's a natural leader and he has a lot to offer different teams. These include the JSA, aka the Justice Society of America, Checkmate. He's even started his own team and led his own team, the Terrifics, as well as being part of other teams like the T-Council, which really just stands for the Terrifics Council. In terms of the evolution of his role, he started out as a member of the JSA, then became chairman of the JSA. Then he stepped down to perform other functions, including leading his own team in the Terrifics. But before that, he also served an interim in Checkmate, acting as both White Bishop and White Knight. His role was evolved because Alan Scott had to step down. In terms of a solo series, Michael Holt has only really had one solo series during the New 52, which is divisive. Some people really like it, some people don't. But since then has never had a solo series, but he's mainly made appearances in either team books such as the Justice Society of America or in his own team book, the Terrifics. In terms of his abilities, Michael Holt is a polymath and a magnificent inventor, scientist, and thinker. He created the T-Spheres, his own device with several uses, including holographic imaging, laser grids, cameras, and recorders, linking with existing data networks, allowing him to fly, acting as explosives and or projectiles. They can also speak and respond to mental and vocal commands. He also created his T-Mask from electronic nanites, making him invisible to any existing technology on Earth. However, Red Tornado and the Thinker can still see through his T-Mask, so he's not immune to all of them, but most of them. Being a master of technology in multiple disciplines, Michael has also created his own T-Ship, giving him the ability to travel through hypertime. He also has been known to have a natural aptitude for natural aptitudes. He has a talent for learning and can pick up any skills quickly, specializing in several different disciplines, including medicine, engineering, technology, mathematics, and science. Michael Holt has 14 different PhDs, 2 of which are in engineering and physics, with several different assorted master's degrees in mathematics and science-related fields or subfields. Michael Holt has an elite level political knowledge and tactical analysis. He makes a fantastic leader and even leads his own team on multiple occasions. This is particularly noticed in the run of Checkmate, where he played, where it's a more political espionage focused run, and he plays that role really well. And he also mingles with Sasha Bordeaux, and if you know her from her days in the Detective Comics run with Bruce Wayne as his handler / bodyguard. Michael Holt is multilingual, giving him an edge as he is able to speak several different languages and learns them pretty quickly. He is in peak human condition and specializes in over 6 different martial arts forms or disciplines. Next up, we're going to talk about some of his feats. So he is the creator of several impressive technologies, including the aerodiscs that the new gods use to travel around. He simultaneously plays 2 different chess games against other Justice League members while blindfolded. He creates a T-sphere that can travel through time so that he can relay a message across time. Michael Holt has also created the world's fastest, cleanest, and most reliable form of public transportation, the Gateway City Rapid Transit Holopod system. He has created an artificial baby sun to grow crops down in the Terrific vertical farm. These crops were imbued with intelligence so that they could harvest themselves, also making them unimaginably efficient at photosynthesis. He recently rescued his long-lost son from Granny Goodness. Yes, his son was long believed to be dead, but was actually teleported at the last second to Granny Goodness. If you ever check that out, that's in Jeremy Adams' Flash run. Since then, his son has followed in his legacy and footsteps, choosing to be a superhero under the code name Fairplay. Jeffrey Holt has moved into the Terrific building and lives with his father and friend, Michael Holt, and his friend QuizKid. Mr. Terrific is the first person that comes to mind for Wally West when navigating spooky Speed Force anomalies during the most recent Simon Spurrier run. Mr. Terrific is able to shed some light and advise Wally regarding the perforations in reality. In terms of good reading recommendations for Michael Holt, aka Mr. Terrific, I recommend checking out his first appearance in Origin in Spectre number 54. I also recommend checking out Spectre number 62, the final issue of that Spectre volume. It gives you an idea of Michael's character at the time, and you can see his early designs before they give him his proper redesign in the JSA run. Another run I highly recommend is the JSA, aka Justice Society of America by Jeff Johns run, the whole thing. There's several different moments for Mr. Terrific in that run, and there's a lot of key developments for his characterization. Another run that I think is fantastic but takes a slightly different approach with a more political espionage approach is the Checkmate run. That one has him in a different role, and like I mentioned earlier, working with Sacha Bordeaux. They have an interesting dynamic until they kind of don't. Another run I recommend checking, and another solo run in some sense, is the Terrifics run by Jeff Lemire and Ivan Reis and several other fantastic artists. This is very similar to Marvel's Fantastic Four, but kind of with a DC flavor to it. I like the characters involved in this run because the Terrifics consist of not only Mr. Terrific, but Metamorpho, Plastic Man, and Phantom Girl. So it's a really different team. It also has a lot of amazing characterizations, and you get to learn a bit more about Mr. Terrific's origin, including more about his family. Another run I would recommend, but isn't necessarily situated in canon, is the Black Label Strange Adventures run from DC by Tom King, Mitch Gerrits, and Doc Shaner. It's a really good run with fantastic artwork, and it has a different approach to Mr. Terrific while also bringing some fresh elements, but being relatively familiar to the other iterations of Mr. Terrific we've seen in the past. In terms of some of my favorite covers for Mr. Terrific, I highly recommend checking out the one we posted earlier, which is the Justice Society of America current volume number 9. It's a gorgeous cover by Mikel Janin. One of the best Mr. Terrific covers in my opinion. Another fantastic cover is the JSA number 76 cover by Alex Ross, perhaps the most iconic imagery of Mr. Terrific around. I do really love the JSA number 70 Dave Gibbons cover with, you can almost say it's like an allusion to the Fair Play Club with the original Mr. Terrific Terry Sloan side by side with the new Mr. Terrific Michael Holt. Just a gorgeous cover by an amazing artist. I also recommend the Terrifics number 27 cover by Dan Mora. It shows you many members of the T-Council, including Tom Strong, Blue Beetle, Adam, both Adams actually, and other members of the Terrifics. Another cover that I really like of Mr. Terrific is the Terrifics number 18 cover by Dan Mora. Just a gorgeous Dan Mora cover, but this cover is pretty cool because it also includes the other Terrifics members. So yeah, those are some of my favorite Mr. Terrific covers that you can find out there. And next up, we're going to look at the media portrayals of Mr. Terrific. So Mr. Terrific has made a few major portrayals throughout the years, including being in the Justice League Unlimited animated series, played by Michael Beach, being in the Beware the Batman animated series, played by Gary Anthony Williams, being in a take of him, being in the CW Arrowverse, played by Echo Kellum. He also featured in the Justice League Action animated series, voiced by Hannibal Buress, and he appeared in the Justice League Gods and Monsters movie, played by Arif S. Kinchin. He also appeared in the Justice League versus the Fatal Five movie, played by Kevin Michael Richardson, and he was featured in the Injustice video game, played by Edwin Hodge, as well as the recent Tomorrowverse animated movie Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earth, played by Eito Asando, and finally in the upcoming James Gunn movie by Eddie Gethegi. That's the portrayal that I'm personally the most excited for, although I will say the Justice League Action portrayal by Hannibal Buress is severely underrated. Anyway, that's one of my favorite characters in the DC Universe, Mr. Terrific. Sound off in the comments below and let us know what you guys think. Are you excited to see him in the upcoming Superman movie? Are you satisfied with the casting? Are you looking forward to more Mr. Terrific stories or comics in the future? Let us know. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the future with more comic book videos. And always remember, everyone, fair play.